on Saturday.
Okay, I'll get on.
It is on.
Oh,
It is on the website. Oh, we
oh,
are
we're
live.
live.
She pushed the button early.
We'll get on the website and look. But Ben was just wondering. So Ben is going to be teaching one of our interactive classes, and he's going to be. He is a professional Qigong. Is that how you say it?
Pretty good.
And he has a school, so which is pretty awesome. So Ben, do you want to just tell us a little bit about you and your school and what you do there and the kind of class that you'll be teaching?
Yes. So I am a Qigong practitioner, and I also do hypnotherapy, and I teach classes to help people experience what I call the way of all life. I'm located here in Alpine, Utah, and a lot of people are not very familiar with Qigong, especially as a form of self-healing practice. But this is part of the ancient healthcare system of China. So this has a written recorded history that's over 4,000 years old. And if anybody knows anything about Chinese culture, they are phenomenal in their record keeping. And so this was the method of cultivating health and wellness, vitality, energy, but also longevity of life. And it's been passed down throughout the centuries and the ages, typically through the families, but they further developed into medicineless hospitals that operated up until the very end of the 1990s, in fact. And it was simply learning how to cultivate the life force. And that's what the word Qigong means. It means life force skill. Just moving the body in particular ways, learning how to breathe. But the root of it really is how to train the consciousness, how to train the mind. But synchronizing all three is how you cultivate mind, body, spirit. It's with the physical posture training and with the breath training and with the mental training, training the imagination on how you can enhance your overall health and wellness. So there have been a lot of integrative hospitals and medical clinics here in the United States that have adopted these practices. I use the Mayo Clinic as an example. Their Phoenix campus for years have taught a Tai Chi and a Qigong class. And so I'm lucky. I'm very blessed and privileged that this is what I get to do. I get to teach this. And I get
So
to
that
help
was kind of my
students learn.
question. Are Tai Chi and Qigong fairly similar? Like Tai Chi is Japanese, is that right?
Tai Chi is an offshoot of Qigong originating from China.
Okay.
Tai Chi is considered an internal martial arts.
Oh, okay.
And when you learn Tai Chi, you're learning a form. And a form is like a sequence of movements that are strung together.
Okay.
There's a beginning and there's an end. And so, yes, there are a lot of Westerners and a lot of Americans that are familiar with Tai Chi, and they see these movements. But Qigong is, to say that one practices Qigong is like saying, I play music. And so there's a whole variety of schools of music, styles of music, and techniques that go into music. Yeah.
So a lot of women, they know about yoga. How is this different than yoga?
That's a good question. Yoga and Qigong are considered brother and sister. They both originate from the Eastern arts. They have very strong Eastern philosophies, and they share a lot of the same objectives. Now, I can only speak from my experience of taking a college yoga class, but from what I've learned and what I've read and what I've experienced in myself, I realized that they both aim at, you could say, awakening the inner light, the inner consciousness, the higher consciousness, connecting to that for health and wellness and energetic life. In ancient Taoist or Chinese traditions, we are talking about the Qi and the cultivation of Qi, but in Ayurvedic and Indian and yogic practices, we're talking about the prana, they're both different, they're both words that
Very similar.
refer to the same thing. It's the life force. It's this life energy. There's a lot of ancient cultures that recognize this all present energy and life force and ways of connecting it. The ancient Hawaiians understood this.
How did you get involved in this?
So I was introduced to Qigong in 2016, and it came at a time in my life when I didn't realize I was looking for it. I wasn't directly looking for it, but I came from a philosophical standpoint, to be honest. So my background is the performing arts. I have 14 years training and experience of being an actor, dancer, performer, singer. And that was my first mind, body, spirit practice training. Because as an actor, you're utilizing your body, you're utilizing your emotions, you're utilizing your mental focus in performing your craft and in your artistic creation and expression. And so I was at the time learning about the philosophy of balance and oneness and wholeness and how to bring this to the world. How do we find wholeness in the world? And it needs to start in us. So I was looking for some way on helping people learn this and embody this principle of wholeness and balance and oneness. And that's when I met somebody who was a Qigong practitioner. And we had a lot of conversations about what is the nature of Qi? What is this life force energy? Is it really there? Is it something beyond our imagination? And when I experienced Qigong and would do the movements and the meditations, I realized, this is a way of being able to embody this understanding so that it becomes a lifestyle and it's transformative in nature. And so that was the beginning. That's what got me into it. I wasn't really interested in healing and health. I wasn't interested in becoming a practitioner. I was just looking for a way to help people understand a way to embody balance, because when we can have balance, we can sustainably enjoy everything that we value: happiness, wholeness.
So is this something that people can do on their own pace, their own time at home, or do they always come to a class type setting, or both?
What I love to do is empower people in themselves. Speaking strictly from a healing standpoint, one of my teachers said, there are only two people who heal. Okay, I'm not the healer. God heals and people heal. They heal themselves, and they do it when they strengthen their relationship with the divine, with divinity. And so I love to empower people. I will teach the movements and the exercises and the techniques, but that's just the initial stage. It's when you are able to embody it and integrate it into yourself, and then you can do it anywhere, because in order to cultivate life force, all that you're utilizing is body, breath, and consciousness. You don't need a device. You don't need technology. You don't need to swallow anything. All you have to do is learn how to breathe, learn how to move your body in a way so that you're opening and awakening certain energetic pathways in the body, and you're learning how to enhance the internal organs, organ functions, improving every system. Now, I'm telling you, there have been thousands of studies and papers written on this in China. And this is why this has survived through centuries, and why it's making its entrance into Western medicine, recognized as a complementary alternative medicine, or complementary integrative medicine. And so, to answer your question, yes, anybody can do this. Anybody can learn to do this on their own. Coming to a class just helps to learn the basic techniques, sort of like taking music lessons from a music teacher. You need help learning where the finger placements go and how to recognize rhythm. Okay, now tempo, learn how to read the music. But ultimately, it's so that you can make your own music, because you recognize that you are the music, and you could do this anywhere.
So you're basically saying, like, you put yourself in these movements and you do different routine type things with these movements, because then that's what opens up basically your body to accept healing. Is that kind of what you would say?
I would say that understanding, you become more empowered in your healing, your self-healing process, when you understand how disease and illness are formed. And that is through the embodiment of stress, which is what we're all really good at. It's how we hold the tension and the tightness in the body, and where we store the trauma. Believe it or not, the whole body's involved in the memories of traumas, the subconscious mind, the mind-body connection. And so what I say is, if we are stiff and rigid in our thinking, we eventually become stiff and rigid in our body. So we can help unbind consciousness by opening and expanding the body once again. There is an inside-out approach and an outside-in approach. And we utilize both. That's transformative in nature. So as my one teacher would say, the issues are in the tissues. If you can open and awaken on the deep levels, even internally in the organs themselves, then yeah, you are unleashing, opening where there's deep-seated stagnation and energetic blocks in the pathways, and cultivate those pathways. And,
well, the crazy thing is that in the Chinese world, you know, I mean, it's even like acupuncture. It's like, how the heck did they figure out that point there affects? I mean, just insane stuff. But it works, and they have a history of it, and they, like you said, that you've got 4,000 years worth of documentation on things that they used. And so you know, there is so much stuff that is provided, or that the Eastern, you know, the Eastern medicine is what you would call it, what they do. And the sad thing is that even over there, unfortunately, it started to get dampened because of America's so smart, right? Americanized medicine, Western medicine. But I hope that they would continue keeping it alive, because there's so many, I mean, there's just so many cool things with all this, right? And that's one of the, like we've talked about, that's one of the cool things about our conference. You can come and experience this class. I'm guessing that your class is I don't know, but I'm guessing it costs more than $30 to go to your class when they come to your place, right? So now for $30, you get the whole conference, and you can go to the class if you'd like. That's what's cool about the conference. You get so much information, so much knowledge from so many people and experts like yourself, just to help give guidance and direction on things that they can do to be healthier.
That's a great deal.
Well, Ben, what can people kind of expect at your class when they come?
What they can expect is to do some minor movement. If they're interested, maybe want to come wearing some flexible clothing. But in the 1 hour that we'll have together, to connect on some level internally with the true self, who people truly are.
I'm going to look to see when your schedule is, okay? That's what I'm looking right now, because I want you to know, but continue to tell us what you're saying, because that's...
Well, that'll be good information too, to find out what time I'm teaching. But underneath all of the traumas, underneath the fears, the insecurities, the grief, the sadness, the anger, the frustration, underneath all of this is an unlimited resource of a healing energy that you can tap into, that you can cultivate, that you can enhance, and you will walk away with very basic understanding of very basic movements and exercises that you can do on a daily basis. And it will make a difference as long as you consistently cultivate this and train this. And so that's what
I love is they're going to be able to learn something there in your class that they can just take and use later on. So that would be so nice having you there. In your class, I just looked, it's at 12 o'clock.
Oh, great. During lunch. Wonderful.
Well, we have an hour and a half lunch or something like that.
Well, actually, lunch doesn't start till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, lunch doesn't start till 1. So you're the last class before lunchtime even starts.
And even lunch, we have lunch and learn. So we have people talking throughout lunch and learn. So
yeah,
we keep it going, because there's nothing worse than a huge break, you know, at a conference. So if people can go eat, they can grab something to eat, you know, they can leave and come back. But we have more education going during lunch. But yeah, yours is at noon. So
yeah.
You know, I just want to say, Shane and Liz, thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you for putting on this conference. Thanks for pulling together some amazing people who are sharing wealth, if that's a plural word here, a wealth of knowledge and information that will bless and benefit a lot of us. Thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you. It is a lot of work, but it's a blessing.
But what's
too.
awesome is that we get to work with people like you.
Yeah,
too.
we get the one-on-ones. We get to talk to people, and we've opened up our whole mindset in terms of knowledge and understanding from what we've learned from people as well. So that's why we do it, is so people can come and learn and experience it. So you've got some codes that people, if they're watching this, we'll give this to also, you can share this on your own Facebook. But I think it's just Ben30 that gives the discount. So it's only it takes $17 off the ticket price, so it's only $30. And I believe you still have some free ones to give away. So if you jump on there ASAP, you can use the Ben free, and that will give you can get the 2-day live event. It only works for the 2-day live event complimentary.
And you can send that to Ben, and he can send you on your way to the class. So thank you, Ben, for coming. And we're so excited to be able to have your class and be able to, a lot of people don't know what Qigong is, and this is such a great way to be able to just come and experience the class and not feel like you have a commitment to or anything, or, you're going to be surrounded by people that have never tried it before, and you get to learn from a master that teaches this for a living, has a school and everything. So thank you for coming on today, and we're excited to be able to have you and be able to, people can experience your class on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
All right.
We'll see you this week.